Well, welcome everyone to Can We Chat here. My name is Sheila Abram, and I'm coming all the way from the Pacific West Coast in sunny California. And I am always pleased to be on camera with my co-host, Ms. Maxine Jones.
And I am in a rainy, cold New York on the East Coast, but that's okay. And welcome, Facebook family and friends, to Can We Chat Here? And we always say this, Can We Chat Here is about our dreams, our goals, our stories, and our journeys. And as always, we love to share information about different topics. And sometimes we have interesting guests as well. But it's always our goal to bring value to our Facebook family and friends. And this night's topic is very interesting because we have a global business. So the topic is building an international team. And as our very, very special guest tonight, we have an awesome gentleman, Mr. Isaac Matias. Welcome to Can We Chat Here?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Lead to where he's coming from.
I forgot. I said international, right?
But say where?
And Mr. Isaac Matias, got so excited, forgot all about that, is coming from Cape Town, South Africa. And I have to ask Mr. Matias right now, what time it is in Cape Town?
Man, actually, this reminds me when I just hooked up with the Wealth Builders, and so I didn't know anybody else who was doing Get Voice presentation properly, and the only team that for me was actually doing it properly, it was the Wealth Builders. And so I had to wake up at 2:45 in the morning. And so right now, here where I am is 3 o'clock in the morning, a.m. I left my wife in the warm bed and I dress up something and I had to do some push-ups so my voice can recover. And what a privilege, what an honor. And when you guys asked me if I could participate in this beautiful platform, I'm like, Jesus, what did I do right to deserve this? So thank you, ladies, from the bottom of my heart.
It is our honor, sir, to have you on, and you are doing everything right.
Yes, he is. Now, Miss Maxine Jones, I know you're going to kick us off with questions, but I just want to make a comment to what Mr. Matias said. He said he wanted to learn how to do it right. So he gave up sleep in order to just learn from the leaders, get on the webinars that we have. How many of us here in the U.S., it's 6 o'clock in the evening, especially tomorrow night, I'll be doing the live presentation, 6 o'clock in the evening or 9 o'clock your time, 8 o'clock Central Time, and they can't find the time to plug in.
And you know, Ms. Abram, I have to commend you too, because we do a power call 6 days a week, and our power call starts at 10:30. Well, Ms. Abram is on the West Coast, so she has to be up like 6:30. She is committed. She's there every single day. And like Mr. Chavez always says, he says, leadership is inconvenient.
Yeah.
It is. It's inconvenient. So, Mr. Isaac Matias, thank you so much for being on this platform this evening. So I'd like to just kind of start out with you just giving us tell us a little bit about your background, you know, where you're from, just a little bit of background for our Facebook family and friends.
Well, I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start, but let me start that right at the beginning, like they say. I am originally from a country called Angola. So Portuguese actually is my first language, and I had to learn English from the how are you, can I have a glass of water, and all that. And so back in 2000, I migrated to South Africa, to look for better living, because from where I come from, it's a so poor country. coming from the poorest family in that country, and I find myself in South Africa as we speak, married to a South African woman, father of two, and life is going. And so I am now a Carrot Boys International affiliate, and I mean for that, just I'm so thrilled that I could get into this platform.
Now, what was your profession when you were introduced to Carrot Bars International, and how long have you been an affiliate?
Look, if you talk about profession, that is something that is out of my dictionary, because in my dictionary, I don't get that word profession, because I don't have a college degree. I don't have a university degree. When you talk about profession, you're talking about people who have studied and they graduated and they have a profession. I'm a lawyer, I'm a judge, I'm a teacher, I'm a professor. I don't have none of that. And so when I saw this, this opportunity called Carrot Bars, I basically saw, a vehicle to my financial freedom. And so before that, I was doing about everything. I worked at the grocery store. I worked at a call center. I worked at a panel shop owned by my brother, who actually introduced me to Carrot Bars. And so I have done basically every little thing, but I wouldn't call it a profession, because I cannot tell myself professionally who I am. I probably still have to find out, and maybe right now in Carrot Bars, it gave me a profession where I get to speak to a lot of people and change people's lives. And so basically right now, that is my profession, where I'm just, I have given my life into changing people's lives.
You know what, Isaac, I think your profession is you're a professional network marketer.
Absolutely.
You are a professional. You are like just leading, one of the leaders there in South Africa, who's making it just happen. So I think the next question, did you say how many years you've been an affiliate?
I signed up in Carrot Bar in November 2015, but when remember what I was speaking at the beginning, that I really had, I think some people actually do not find success because they want to get in and earn. But
immediately they want instant success.
From the beginning, I actually automatically I learned that first I had to learn, take the L out, and then earn. And I think that was the point to just flip everything over. I took about 6 months to really learn properly, and like you say, become a professional network marketer. And that's, I'm talking about, I have learned from the best of the best. I'm talking about Miss Sheila Abram. I'm talking about Mr. Ty Best, Tyrone Bank, Mr. Roger Williams, and the unforgettable Mr. Michael Dalco. You know, and so that's where I am right now.
So when you said you took the time to learn, what exactly did you do? You know, besides plugging in, what did you do to learn the business? Bring you to the level that you are today. What did you?
I think the first thing really that I learned is that I had to plug in. That is very important. You can go read books and all that, but if you don't have really somebody who you can look up to, like I always looked up to Mr. Michael Dalco. And even here in South Africa, some people, they say, this is our own Michael Dalco. They're pointing to me. So I really, first, I had to, to really just plug in and learn with the best, so that I don't try to invent the wheel. I mean, I'm just following what our wealth builders leader had taught us. You know, just plug in, sit at their feet, and make sure that you implement what they have taught you, and become obviously a great inviter. And I started doing the presentations myself, and the sky was not the limit, but I was the limit. So I'm going.
So the connecting was important to you. To connect with other like minds was very important to you. And it is important for us to connect like that. You made a very valid point, because most people think that plugging in is really not important. Oh, it's just a power call. It's just, they do that inspiration part and then they, have the dialogue and then everybody shares. But that is so important to motivate and inspire people to hear like minds sharing and saying, celebrating and saying, this is what I did and this is how I did it. And even those that have challenges, you can connect with that and learn from that. So you absolutely started with the correct way, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Abram, you're up next.
Right.
Okay, so now the next question I have for you is, what made you accept the invitation from your sponsor? Like when you were presenting Care Bars, what made you accept the invitation and why?
You guys remember when I came to Atlanta, I came with a gentleman called Francisco Damas. He has been my big brother, my mentor, just everything to me. And he heard about Care Bars first. And this is one thing that actually I have been telling my team that, guys, when somebody new comes in, make sure that they collect the database of the whole bloodline, the whole family, and let them position their family without the family knowing it. And so I basically did not really have an invitation. Damas or Francisco, he collected the whole family database, and I just received an email to say, welcome to Care Bars. And the next day he tell me, hey, somebody's coming to our office and you better be there and come and listen to the presentation. So when I went there, it was Apostle Oscar of Miesta who was doing the presentation there. His upline is Dr. April in Atlanta. I think you guys know them, the Ripley family. And when Apostle Oscar was done, man, and I started scratching my head like, where am I going to get money? I mean, that's just 3 years ago. Where am I going to get money even just to buy maybe a bronze package? So I scratched here and there, and I understood the system. I got in, and we just went. Basically, I did not have time even to think about it. And I think that's why I have been so crazy telling people that make sure that your family are positioned in this family. I mean, when I'm working, when I'm networking Care Bars, I'm already making sure that my daddy earns, my mom earns, my wife first, all right? My wife earns, my daddy, my mom earn, my brothers earn, and everybody else earn in my bloodline.
Wow.
And so when he did that for me, that was the most beautiful thing that he has ever done for the whole entire family. And so I promise you, make sure that when you hear about Care Bars, understand how you can position your family. Don't even ask them. Don't even ask them. Position them and let them learn later. And so that's what actually happened to me. I was positioned.
Okay.
But I knew that I love talking. And so he knew I would be doing something. I would take it to the next level. So he set me up. He made sure that he positioned me. And I mean, even before my MasterCard came, I had about already some like 3,000 euros without me doing anything.
Wow.
Like, this is crazy. What about if I do it myself? Because obviously he was putting everybody under his family, which is us. And I saw this gotta be something else.
So can you, 3,000 euro in your South African rand, I think it is. That's your currency, right? What kind of money was that in your South African rand?
In my South African rand, I'm getting my calculator. That would be 3,000 euro. That would be 48,000 rand. That can buy you a nice car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Buy you a nice second-hand car.
Yeah.
And that's what you made.
Without me doing.
And you made that within, what would you say?
Basically, within weeks. Within weeks.
A couple weeks, few weeks.
Right, a couple of weeks. And that was without me doing anything, without me moving, without me bringing anybody into the system. So that's why I say, make sure that you position your family. You are going to work the system anyway. So make sure that your mother, your father, your cousin, everybody is already positioned before even you go to your second family, to your friends and friends, you know. So you work basically for your family. That's beautiful. For me, that was outstanding.
I like when you said that, sir, because you're building a dynasty actually, and you absolutely will be leaving a legacy. But you encompass your family. I know you are building a monster team, and I want to ask you this: what is your method of prospecting, or shall we say, networking in your country, and you know how you reach out to other people? Because you're South African, you might actually do something different than we do here in the United States. But what is your method of reaching out, prospecting people and reaching out to them? What would you say your niche is?
Well, my secret is my smile.
You do have a very engaging smile, sir. Yes, you do.
So that's the secret number one. Okay. And number two, I think Mr. Delco really taught me this. And I thank God that I hooked up with Mr. Delco, because we actually, time to time, we really had one-on-one where I would call him like, "Sir, could you help me?" And tirelessly, he would just be there for me, and we would talk. So I think my main way of approaching people is really presenting myself with so much energy. And when I speak about the energy, when I speak to people, I make sure that they understand how believable this system is, how crazy I am about this. I don't even know how to put it in words. Mm-hmm. So, and when you pour out that spirit, I promise that it will come back to you. And especially for me, because I come from a very, poor background. I'm talking about financially. Mm-hmm. And now people look at me and they really see that my life has changed. Then they know, okay, something really is happening in this company. And so they give me an opportunity to speak to them. And obviously, it's not easy just to find anybody out there. And 99% of my people in my team, I got them on Facebook. I live in Cape Town. Yeah, I live in Cape Town, but my biggest team is in another state. Mm-hmm. In Cape Town, when I do a presentation, I don't really have a lot of people. And I think I always tell my people, this is biblical, where the Bible says that the prophet has no honor in his own town. And so what I did is exactly what Mr. Harold Zeiss has done. He went out of Germany and he made it big in the United States. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Harold Zeiss is not big in Germany. I come across a lot of people from Germany, and they said, "No, I've never heard about it." But in the United States, it's that big. I really took that approach where I started going out of my town, because people will always judge you. Mm-hmm. When
your peers.
Mm-hmm. Right. Eric Board is a wealth building system. And you're talking to me about the wealth building system. Look at your car. They start judging you. Look at what you eat.
Yeah.
Look how So I really took a different approach, and I said, okay, let me get people on Facebook. 99% of my business partner, I found them on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the senior citizen, young people, vibrant young ladies, young men, and we are just doing it. And so I started flying to them, taking money out of my children's, taking food out of my children's mouth, where I didn't have, but now there's this lady who said, would you come over and fly to me and explain to me? Because especially here in South Africa or in Africa, people really like to have the tangible person. Don't talk to me about Zoom and what. No, if you are real,
they like face to face.
Right, come over here. And so I would take that leap of faith and fly to people, spending my money. And when I get there, I would probably get 5 people, I get 10 people, and so forth. And that's where it is. That's where it is. Now I basically have people all over the world. And because I speak Portuguese, I have some people in Portugal as well. I'm building a team in Brazil. And we are going.
Quick question for you, Isaac. I just want to ask this quick question. Those people who didn't find you credible because you had a banged up car and everything, now how do they look at you? How do they approach you now?
I have about 8,330 plus people in my team. And that's just in the space of really 2.5 years, so to say. And so I got a call from this guy on Facebook who lives in Cape Town. And he said, hey, Isaac, I see you, flying all over. You just celebrated that you had about 8,000 people and all that. I wish I would have listened to you when you spoke to me. And I said, sir, had you listened to me, you should have been probably number 10, number 15 in my team. Now, when you come in, you're going to be number 8,330, whatever number. And he's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh my gosh. And so I tell him, look, join me today. Because if you join me tomorrow, you're going to be number 10,000. We are not stopping. We are not stopping.
Still moving.
We keep on moving. And when I speak about we are not stopping, there is, in Cape Town, there's this street, it's called Long Street. That street is so busy almost every day. And so right now here, if let's say around 1 o'clock in the morning, you sleep, you're probably in your third dream already. But it so happened that one day I took my wife and we took a drive in town, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning. People were partying like it is 12 o'clock midday. The street was full. And from there I understood that, look, sometimes you think that you are not making money, the whole world is not making money. No, it's only you that is not making money. Everybody else is making money. So you think that maybe I'm sleeping, everybody's sleeping. Hell no. Only you sleeping, everybody else is awake. So wake up. Wake up.
I'm going to share my screen and show a picture really quickly. I want you to tell me about this picture. Hold on, let's get to it.
Okay.
Share my screen. Share.
And you really owe me a big hug. I could not give you a hug when I was in Atlanta. I went on the stage like, oh, is Miss Sheila Abram here?
Actually, you found me. You had your stick in your hand. You found me in the lobby. You're making rain stick? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now tell us about this car. Now, this is not your old car, is it?
No, it is not.
I don't think so.
No, it is not. Look, this car is always ready for me when I go to Swaziland. Like on the 17th, I will be having a presentation or a PGR in Swaziland. So.
Your internet slowed down.
Yeah, slowed down.
That was myself and my wife over there. That was in Swaziland.
Okay, so now is who's in the picture with you? Being nosy.
That's my lovely wife.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted you to introduce your lovely wife to us. Look at it.
I was curious too, Sheila. I was like, okay,
who's ready to do the business?
A woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my lovely wife, Ashley.
Nice looking couple.
Gorgeous.
She has been the pillar of everything that I am doing, because I believe that as I love her to the point where if she would have told me, hey, don't do credit bars, maybe I would have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But when I came home and they said, baby, I just saw this amazing presentation. And I promised her that, look, in 2 to 3 years, we're going to be millionaires. And so right now we are millionaires. There's no doubt about it. We have made it. We have made it, and she's happy. As long as she's happy, my kids are happy, I'm happy. And so she has done great thing in my life, so to say.
So one question I want to ask you, you were just in Miami for the opening of the bank, but you also, like you said, you came to the Let's Go weekend as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what the question is, when was the first time you came to the U.S.?
That was in Atlanta. That was my first time.
The Let's Go weekend.
Let's Go weekend.
Let's Go weekend, and I think I have been meaning to come to the Let's Go weekend ever since I plugged in with you guys, wealth builders, and obviously there were always hiccups here and there with my visa, but just this time, Mr. Delco did a great job. Mrs. Zalman did a great job. Miss Tammy and Charlene, they really supported me in getting my visa. And actually, I got my visa, which is valid for 2 years. And so I can anytime come in and out of the United States. And I mean, next year again, I'm bringing my wife and a couple of team members to the Let's Go weekend 8 in April. Man, that is not negotiable. That is not negotiable.
So now you tell us what the feeling was or the atmosphere in Miami when that cryptocurrency ATM was unveiled. Mm-hmm. Now, were you there for the opening of the bank or for the unveiling of the ATM? Which one?
No, I was at the last meeting that we had at the unveiling of the ATM.
All right. ATM.
Yeah. Okay. And I think it was exciting, the guys for the guy that were there at the opening of the bank. But I promise you, it was nothing like being there and looking at the product that Mr. Held has promised, and now it is in front of us. I kind of really saw some people crying, including myself, because it was so overwhelming that we just could not take it. It was sick to see that years ago, 3 families came together and they had a secret meeting where we could not participate. Time around, you and I, you guys are Americans. You guys are respected. Now, I come from a poor country, a third country, so you would say. To be part of that system, I think more than anybody, I cried. I cried. It was just overwhelming to see your bright future right in front of you, to know that you are in the system that will take care of yourself, of your children, and your children's children. That was a bomb.
Wow.
That was a bomb.
You wanted to ask the next? Oh, Maxine, before you ask that last question, when Isaac said he was so excited, okay, I saw this picture on Facebook.
Oh, I saw that one too.
Now, would you say you were excited to be in Miami?
You think?
On the USA beach? When I saw that picture, I said, who captured that? You're up in the air?
Midair.
Just to look on your face.
That's priceless.
Wow.
It was
that was captured by a beautiful lady called Pa and with Shantae.
Yeah. That says it all. It really does.
This picture show everybody around the world that I just found out that I was a millionaire. I just found out that Mr. Herod asked me a question such as, if I told you that I would make you a millionaire, what would you say? I said, yes, and I jumped. It says everything about freedom.
Yes.
Everything about freedom. And let me just add on this that actually I had in mind. When I was flying back from the United States to South Africa, I watched this movie. I think it's about Abraham Lincoln, the United States president. And they were at this auditorium where they were voting against or in favor if they had to let the slaves be free and all that. one thing that really captured my attention in that movie is that even the guy who was presiding the whole conference, he at the end he said, guys, can you please also ask my opinion as to whether I oppose that we free them or I am in favor that we free them. Mm-hmm. But and then one guy said, but you there sitting on that chair, you are not allowed to vote. And the guy said, no, ask me the question because I want to give my vote. And they asked me why. They asked him why. And this is the question that he gave. He said, because I want to be part of the history. What we are doing in Cadet
yes,
is making history.
Absolutely.
I promise you that my name will be remembered to the 14th, 15th generation. Because of this time that we are even recording this, because of what is happening in the financial world that is some other people cannot see it. And Mr. Time said it's so right that look, when the whole world wake up, we will already be millionaires, billionaires.
Yes, we will.
And we can just thank God enough that we are right in front of the movement of money. We are right in front of the wave. Or in fact, when I went to the beach, I stood afar and I saw the waves coming and going. And we always speak about being in front of the wave. And this time, Cadet Boys, this huge wave that is coming. I really love this picture.
I love that picture too. That's your reaction to we have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Absolutely. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you, but the question is, where do you see yourself 2 years from now? But before you answer that, you did a post recently, and I should have see if Miss Sheila Abram has that picture, and that I love. And it's a quote. I'll quote what you said. Calculations indicate that in the next year, or less than a few more months from now, I will be the African's youngest millionaire, and in 2 years, the youngest billionaire in Africa. You don't believe me? Screenshot this post today and keep it very safe. I thought that was absolutely awesome.
Now, how long ago did you do that?
Where do you see it?
How long ago did you do that post?
When did you do that, Isaac? Because I would love for her to screen share that.
Friday or Thursday?
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Okay.
Right. Very, very recent. You would be able to pick it up if you go to my page.
That's the picture the other picture I sent you, Sheila, in Facebook Messenger.
Right.
That he's standing with the MasterCard.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. Where's my share? Do you see it on my screen?
No.
Not yet.
All right. Here we go.
That's the one. That's the one. Talk about that. Talk about that.
The question that you really asked me, there is the answer. That in 2 years coming, plugged in Cadet bars, even if I'm dead, I will probably still be there. Even if I'm dead, the money does not stop. That's one beautiful thing about Cadet bars. That when you die, the money doesn't die with you. The system carry on. Right. And my wife knows the legacy and everything, and so it can take care of my family. But exactly what I said, that's the answer right there. In the next 2 years, if you talk about 2 years, I know. I know. If people, you gotta get your crypto, get your KBC, get your KCB.
Get the coins.
Get the coin. Get the coin. Make sure that you get it. Because really, from my calculation, in the next 2 years, I will be the next billionaire, the youngest billionaire in Africa, not inside Africa, in Africa.
That shot says to me, Don't believe it. Just watch.
Wow, that's right. We got to wait for his internet
to catch up. Yeah,
okay.
There we go.
Good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Tony de Govea, he always tell us, guys, if you think you have enough points, forget it. You don't have enough.
That's true.
You don't have enough. Make sure that you really have something that you can look at, calculate it, and see yourself in the next 1 to 2 years. Everybody's going nowhere, and so you better go with it. So right now, I can tell you, in the next 2 years, you are looking at the youngest billionaire.
I love it.
The one thing I want to do, we didn't have this on our list of questions, but it's been probably a month or two ago now. You did a Facebook live stream. It was about an hour long. And you told the story, and Mr. Ty Best even retold that story on the power call. It had to do with how your life has changed and something to do with your son going into the refrigerator. Can you briefly give us a summary of what that story was about? What was the significance of that?
To look back where I come from a poor country. In fact, our country is not poor, but I think the leadership is so greedy that they take everything, they divide everything among themselves. We have diamonds, we have oil, we have gold, we have anything that the world needs. However, I would say our country is very poor. I come from a very poor family where we we ate once a day.
Wow.
Until now, I hate food, even now. To a point where when I look at food, it's like you were never my friend, and why do you want to be my friend now? And so even my eating, I need to force myself because I'm not used to eat. And so I come from a home where we ate once a day, meaning you wake up, you don't even need to brush your teeth, and you have to go to school if you daddy paid to go to school. You roam around, maybe you go to a friend, and you come back in the evening. Then that's the only time that you do eat. And so I was actually doing something. My son came to me and said, "Hey, Daddy, I'm hungry." And I told him to open the refrigerator. And he's only 3. I told him to open the refrigerator. And so when he opened it, he looked in it and he said, "I don't even know what to eat." I'm like, dude. Dude, you know how we hunted for food when we were your age.
Yeah.
And now you opening the fridge, you have so much options that you don't even know what to pick. And in that moment, I knew that I had changed the course of my generation.
Wow. Yes.
I knew that whatever I always told myself as a little boy, that I do not want my kids to be in the same place where I went through. I fulfilled that. Because my children, they look around, all they see is food. And where I come from, where I was born, you could not find that kind of thing. There was no food. In fact, I always recognize my dear friend. Her name is Patricia, and she was my my best friend forever. Like we grew up together, and because they had her father had a good job in government. So I found that actually that house they actually have a lot of food, and so I made friends with Patricia. And whenever it was breakfast, I would run to their house. Whenever it's lunchtime, I would run to their house. And actually, they kind of adopted me where they actually had a plate set apart for me already. And I'm forever grateful to that girl. I mean, I would do anything for her right now, because in my house we only had one meal a day, And now I really have with this platform called I cannot I cannot understand why sometimes people don't even want to take a look at something that is changing generations and generations to come. And so when my son said that, immediately it knocked me into my mind and said, wow, I have made it.
Yes.
Even if it's not in such big abundance, but I have made it to a point where my children will never go hungry like I did. And so that was the story.
We talk a lot about, how words have power. And you were sharing about why people don't see it. And we know that's a mindset. They've been programmed to actually not see it. But when we talk about words having power, you are the founder and CEO of Destined Wealth Worldwide. That is a very profound statement, sir. So how did you come about that? Because that title has much power.
And I think that's where really I had to embody the name, because when I was looking for something to call my team, I'm like, we are all destined for this if we just believe. And that's why the Let's Go Weekend 7 was so powerful, because it was about believe. And all the leaders went on the stage and they spoke about believe. And when I really prayed about that, and boom, there the name came, Destined Wealth Worldwide. So for me, everybody that will come in contact with anybody in whether wealth builders, in cared by general, you are destined for wealth. All you have to do is, and guys, if you really would ask me my secret, all I had to do is really just to plug in and follow the instructions of our leaders in the wealth builders. That's all I did. I did not want to invent something that I would struggle with it. I just went with it. Mr. Duck always say, invite. So I invited. When you give me a no before the O is out, I'm gone. I know you'll come back later. And so that's what it means. That I just see that every person on the planet Earth is destined for wealth. And there was actually a guy who said, yeah, but we are not all to be rich and all that. I'm like, okay, fair enough. But show me a book where your name is written and it said that you are not destined to be wealthy. Show me that book. Yeah. So this is an open platform for everybody. It's for whosoever will.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a college degree. I don't have a university degree. But I will be counting. I'm counting millions already.
Yeah.
You know how to count.
I'm counting. I'm weighing some money right here. So we are all destined for some greatness somehow, somewhere. We just have to find the vehicle. And I think Caraba for me is the vehicle, and really, truly the only vehicle that has taken me from a very poor background to be wealthy, and we keep on going. We won't stop now.
No.
Well, Miss Maxine Jones, you want to close us out, but I want to tell you thank you so much, Isaac, for joining us on Can We Chat Here. It has been an absolute pleasure. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Miss Maxine Jones.
Keep that beautiful smile, sir, because that smile just lights up the room. And you're right, that is your niche, is that smile. But as Ms. Sheila Abram has just shared, it absolutely has been our pleasure to have you on Can We Chat Here. We are going to be just watching your progress, because we know you are absolutely destined for greatness. So for our Facebook family and friends, we love to bring you topics and awesome guests like Mr. Isaac Matias. So we're the first Monday of the month.
Yes.
So our next Can We Chat Here will be the first Monday in December. and don't miss it. But as always, we share with you. If you want a specific topic or something or suggestions, you can put that on canwechathere.info, and we will take a look at it and bring it to the platform. So it's always our pleasure to be on Can We Chat Here, and we just love this platform. So thank you ever so much, Mr. Isaac Matias.
Thank you so much. And you guys pronounce my surname correctly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you know what? Now you can get some sleep.
Yes, now you can get some sleep. We got you up for 4 hours in the. Thank you for your commitment, sir. Yes.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.